So the Philadelphia Eagles barely squeezed by the Indianapolis Colts in a nail biter. Colts were up 13-3 in the fourth quarter. Eagles find a way to come back and score some touchdowns when it mattered most. Now the AJ Brown fumble looked a little scary for them. The JT fumble, you thought, oh, the Eagles are going to go down and score, and the Colts aren't going to go down and score because the Colts offense just couldn't get it done in the red zone. And, the missed field goal by Chase McLaughlin, the holding, the illegal amount downfield by Ryman. There were so many little mistakes by both teams. It's just that the better team ultimately came out on top, and I think no one coming in this game was questioning who's a better team. It's just a matter of fact of, can the Eagles overcome the matchup? Can they get the run game or the run defense figured out and ultimately stop JT a little bit? But I was very, very curious on why Jonathan Taylor did not play a lot of the game. It was Deion Jackson, it was Zach Moss for a few plays. That was a bit questionable. Why don't you keep running it? Why do you keep running right at the middle, right? But welcome to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan's welcome. Hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, make sure you like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on. Don't forget to share to all your favorite social media platforms. We're on the road to 1,000 officially after we hit 900. We were officially on the road after we hit 900. 900 is the goal. 17 away, so make sure to subscribe in. So this game was very weird. It was nail-biting all the way through. Even when the Colts were up 13-10, I still didn't feel confident because they had a few drives where they had chances to go and at least score a field goal or go down and score a touchdown. A few times the Colts were in the red zone or close to the red zone, they kick a field goal. You have to convert in the red zone. When you're playing a team like Philly, you have to find ways to score points. You have to put them away. If you keep giving them hope, keep giving them that slight little, that little light through the tunnel, they're going to take it. They're a great football team. They're hungry. They will take advantage when another team does not capitalize. They will take advantage of the opportunities. And, this team still looked better under Jeff Saturday than would have under Frank Reich. I get it. They still made small mistakes, but they didn't make them in the same way as they would from Reich. They bounced back. The defense, Zaire Franklin looking like Darius Leonard, just ripping the ball away from A.J. Brown. But the offensive line, let's talk about the offensive line a little bit. The offensive line for the Indianapolis Colts looked pretty good. They look solid. For having a quarterback in Matt Ryan who can't really move, very limited at this point in his career, and that's what ultimately holds this offense back right now. Matt Ryan is very limited. Kind of like what Philip Rivers was, but Philip Rivers just played better. He just played better. He just got to figure it out. Matt Ryan he is so limited right now. He just can't lead the offense. He can't be that game changer. He can't be him. He can't be the guy. He can be a guy to help you a little bit, but he's not going to, bring you to the promised land. He's not going to help you beat this kind of team. Yeah, there were other things, not just Matt Ryan's fault, but, the offensive line played pretty well, especially going up an Eagles front today. Has a lot of amazing talent, rotational talent. They never get tired because of the depth in the rotation. The Eagles front, very difficult to play against, and I'm proud the way this offensive line played. Now, some of the penalties were very bad. Bernard Ryman, that legal man downfield penalty was blatantly obvious. That was horrible. There was a few holding calls, one by Will Fries, whatever. But Will Fries has played miles better than Pinner and Pryor combined. Ryan Kelly had a holding. Ryan Kelly's been playing okay. Not like the highest paid center in the league still. But the offensive line has looked better. And under Jeff Saturday, I expected the offensive line to look better. To find a way to look at least somewhat better. Hasn't been great, but it's been much better than it was, so it looks great compared to that. So the offensive line playing pretty good, playing all right. Weapons, once again, Matt Ryan is just so limited to what you could call, what you could do. It's difficult to call games like that against that kind of defense with the front when you don't have. We have good weapons, right? But A guy like Matt Ryan, he is limited, very limited, which limits the weapons. Paris Campbell has been consistent. He has had some big games. Maybe you don't see on the stat sheet, but he has caught a few passes, has had decent yardage, and on big plays too. Pittman had a good day today. Had a holding penalty. So there's still that, but Pittman was much better than he was the last few weeks. He didn't make detrimental mistakes. But ultimately, I was impressed by this offense a little bit. The offensive line. At times, I don't know why I'm saying I'm impressed. I'm just saying they look better than they have been. I get they only scored 16 and that they played, an insane defense, pretty good secondary, really good defensive line, good linebackers, good safeties, just an all-around really good defense. I was impressed by how this offense played, but I do have a few questions on how you called plays at times. I don't think you got the linebackers involved enough, or the tight ends involved enough. I don't like how we ran the ball up the middle, mainly with JT. I don't know why we don't do pitches or, some more outside zones, some like crazy stuff like that. Very predictable with JT. You run up the middle almost every time, and something I notice is when Campbell goes in motion, that usually means JT is running right up the middle. That has been a very common theme. We saw a few screens thrown today. None of them really did anything great. How about the running back, like the swing routes? Enough of those. You've been calling them a lot, and that's another result of Matt Ryan being limited, of them calling those swing routes a lot. Matt Ryan is limited. That's why they're calling the swing routes a lot. That's why he's throwing to JT or Deion Jackson, hoping they make a big play, because Matt Ryan is that limited right now. We see so many times the ball comes out, now at the zip, just not with what you need to put on a football to win a game in the NFL. To complete difficult passes, tight windows. Matt Ryan doesn't have that. He hasn't had it for a little while. So, the defense was good for the most part. It was a pretty damn good defense. They played pretty well. You can come away from this game and see that this defense played such a good game. I get it. Towards the end of the game, they struggled a little bit, but the offense didn't help. The offense missed a field goal. The offense, multiple times, the defense got the offense a chance. This defense was elite today. Elite. And I feel so bad for this offense because this defense, because this defense is a championship defense. And that arises a question. Do the Colts trade Darius Leonard? Do they? You see how well the defense is playing without him. You love Leonard, and he has made such a huge impact on the locker room in the city. That would be the only reason I wouldn't trade him away. Especially if a team takes that contract and they offer a first-round pick. I'd take it in a heartbeat. Listen, I absolutely love Darius Leonard, Shaquille Leonard. And, 10 turnovers a year, which is kind of what he is, and he's basically guarantees over 100 tackles and quite a few tackles for loss. It's hard to get rid of him like that, but with this linebacker core is a championship linebacker core. As you can see, a defense doesn't need great linebackers. And paying Darius Leonard $20 million a year, especially when he hasn't played a full season. This is the first year where he has actually missed serious time. But he's never played a full season. And, he's not a premium position, but he kind of makes his position premium to some point for how many turnovers he makes. He forces, but you've seen how well this defense has played without him. That's the truth. That is the damn truth. You love him. But if a team comes and, say they offer a first-round pick, I'm sorry, Shaq, but the NFL's his business. You got to go if that happens. But Defense, I have no complaints. I have no complaints. This defense was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The QB drop that end sucked. That Quez Watkins touchdown sucked. But mainly they put the offense in so many positions to extend that lead even more, which ultimately would have put the game away. Like the missed field goal, just not scoring when you were already at like the 45-yard line. Yeah, that's not good. Defense did everything they could. I am not putting any fault on the defense in this game. They gave this offense so many damn opportunities. And I think that PI wasn't PI in a way. It was blatant PI. But was the ball catchable? Was it catchable? I don't think so. And that's one of the things with the PI. If it's not catchable, you can't call PI. Right? It was blatant PI the way he pushed him. The way Zaire Franklin pushed Miles Sanders. But it wasn't PI. Because that ball wasn't catchable. Would it have even been catchable if Zaire Franklin didn't push him back? No. It wouldn't have been catchable. And then also the fumble by Campbell. I kind of thought that would have been called a fumble. I know you may be like right now, oh, you're a Colts fan, so you're going to think this stuff. But if you go back to the Ravens and Colts game, it was a very similar situation with that Marcus Peters. He caught the football, and at first they called it a drop because he didn't really move too much, didn't really get 2 feet down. He barely did, but he made a football move. Campbell had the ball, and he made a football move. So I thought that was a fumble, which went out of bounds, which would have been a first down. They called the same thing on Marcus Peters. They called the same thing for Marcus Peters getting the interception and then fumbling it. And then the Ravens picked it up. So, defense, Stephon Gilmore played great. Brendan Faison actually played good this week. I was happy with how he played. Isaiah Rodgers did get hurt. I hope he's all right. But ultimately, if the offense was more competent, we would be winning the division right now. Yeah. If we had a quarterback that wasn't as limited, I think we would be winning the division. Honestly. Because this defense is playing at such a high level. As you've seen. As you saw this game. Before this game, they were 4th in the NFL in yards allowed. And they played a phenomenal game today. Against one of the best offenses in the league in explosive plays, yardage, rushing yards. They're just great in every way. And the defense showed up. Yeah, the Eagles did have a lot of self-inflicted wounds as well. But the Colts still stopped them. The Colts defense still kept them in the game. Even when they did get some stops there, the Eagles were all self-inflicted wounds. But some of them were. So, and Jeff Saturday, man, I think he should stay. I think Jeff Saturday should stay. Love Jeff Saturday. He has played phenomenal. He has been a phenomenal coach. You know, I haven't seen many times where this team has fumbled and then forced another fumble, and that you just don't see that often from like one drive to the next. This team still fought hard. This team still fought very hard, and Jeff Saturday brings a whole new element to this team than Frank Reich did. I would give Jeff Saturday a whole offseason and draft a young quarterback. This is what I want. I think we should draft Anthony Richardson. I think we should trade back a little bit back into the late first round. Draft Anthony Richardson. I'm not a big Will Levis fan. I have to go back and watch some of his tape again because some people are talking good about him now. I'll have to go back and watch some tape. I know Hendon Hooker, but I don't really want a 25-year-old quarterback. Honestly. You know, you see how fast people get old, how players age. Darius Leonard is like 27 now, I think. And I think Quentin Nelson's 27. You know, these cornerstone guys are getting older. Not very old, but they're aging. After the rookie year, after the rookie contract, you pick up the 5th-year option, and then you give him one contract 4 or 5 years, and that might be it. Granted, quarterbacks do play a long time, but a good scenario is if he's even good, which I think he's got the tools. He could be good, but you want a young guy. You want a young quarterback, a young player to come in and lead the team. I'm not a huge Will Levis guy, like I said, but I'm going to have to go back and watch some tape. The only guy I would only think about trading up if you have a chance to draft Bryce Young. Bryce Young has a much higher ceiling than Stroud. It's a little more risky, but I think Stroud has much higher ceiling. Stroud is definitely a safer pick, but I think that Stroud is a guy that you really want to draft in the first round. Of course, Stroud too, but I just think Bryce Young is going to be better than Stroud. I like Bryce Young more than Stroud. Other guys later, maybe like Tanner McKee. Don't really know anyone else. I don't really remember. Tyler Van Dyke, I don't think he should come out this year. I think he should go back, especially after being benched. But anywho, it was a good game. I enjoyed the game. It just sucks to come out on the bottom. It sucks to come out on the crappy end of the stick in this one, especially with us leading by 10 in the fourth quarter. But the difference is with Frank Reich and Jeff Saturday. Jeff Saturday, you can see when players go on the sideline, he's already talking to them. Frank Reich had his head buried in the play sheet. I want a guy like Jeff Saturday to get another year or two to be the Indianapolis Colts head coach. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, put that post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. Make sure to share. Tell your favorite social media platforms. You will not be disappointed. Tons of content here. Live reactions, previews, recaps, weekly NFL predictions. A lot of draft content is going to be coming up. If you like the draft, as I love the draft, probably my favorite thing of football, honestly. I love the draft. And then, yeah, so that's it. This is JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off.